Right now, Conductor is kind of my go-to tool when I do vibe coding things. As with everything, it's not perfect. I don't always do vibe coding, by the way. But the thing that I really like about it is that this tries to reimagine what GitHub might be like if we focused on the vibe coding experience. And the easiest way to explain this is to just show you. Conductor is a free app you can download right now. You do need a cloud account or a Codex account, and when you start it up, it looks like this. There's a couple of repositories I've got locally, and let's say I want to make a change to this one, Discdantic. Let's make a new workspace. And there we go. We get a nice little chat interface over here. We have a nice little terminal over here, and we can see a couple of file changes over here. Before typing anything, there's a few things that you can do. You can select a model. So right now I'm just going to go for Sonnet. You can also integrate this with Linear, so you can link an issue if you like. There's also a toggle for plan mode or not plan mode, and you can also specify the thinking level. In this case, I'm just going to go for something a little bit basic. Make the readme.md shorter, but add an abstract. So far so good. I'm having a conversation here. There's a bunch of tools being called. You can always expand, so that's also a thing you can do. You can kind of inspect what it's doing, which is nice. Another thing you're going to notice, by the way, is that all of this is happening inside of a Git workspace. So this is the original folder. Then there is a hidden folder, and inside of that, there's a specific folder for the work I'm doing right now. So one thing that is good to know is that you are definitely doing YOLO mode on your own machine. So that's something to just keep in mind, right? But we can also see right now that it's done. So what I can do now is click this readme.md file, and I can see some of the changes that it's made. Now, one of the things about this UI that I think is particularly nice is I can add inline comments. So I can do something like, oh, make Discdantic the name bold. It's a bit of a silly review at this point, right? But let's not do comments here. It's also something I can add inline. And from here, I can also just type, right? I can write what I want it to do. But by being able to just specify some lines where changes need to be made, it's just kind of nice and convenient. I can also choose to maybe close this. If there's multiple files, I can also edit them from here, right? But at this point, I can now see that it indeed has made a change, which is nice. And I can now also tell it to just go ahead and make the PR. I can then go to GitHub. I can see that indeed it's making a PR. There's a nice little summary. And there's also some checks, and you can see that they are currently running. And then eventually, if all the checks pass, you're going to notice here that it says that this work is ready to merge. And I can go ahead and hit this merge button. And I can also do something that's a little bit fun and cheeky. Let's just open this up in Z. And what I can do is I can change one of the tests. So just to be clear, this is a really silly test. I just want to demonstrate that this will always fail. And the reason I want to show this is because I also like to show how Conductor can try to self-heal. So I can see the local change here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a PR manually. So I'm just going to do git add that guy, and then I'm going to push it. If I now go to GitHub, you can see that indeed I pushed this failing thing and that it is indeed failing. And this is also reflected in Conductor. You can see that it's totally failing. But you'll also notice that there's now this fix errors button that you can go ahead and click. And what it's going to do, it's going to, I think, internally use the GitHub command line interface to just check the logs to see what's broken. And you can go ahead and tell it to fix some errors. So this UI is already kind of nice. It's got most things that you would want to use. But the main thing that's really cool about this is you can do this in parallel. So right now I'm just doing this one change on this repository, but nothing is stopping me from making a new workspace. And that means that if you have multiple ideas you want to work in parallel, you can do that from this one UI. And not only that, you can do this on multiple projects too. And, the UI is just kind of nice. Back to the failing PR, by the way, it's making some changes. It is now only containing this README, and you can see that it's made the changes such that now it is ready to merge. So I could now actually look at this and see if I like it. But in short, this is Conductor. It is basically just a UI on top of Claude Code, or I should say Codex, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can also use Codex. And what I think is just pretty interesting is it's a nice glimpse in a future where maybe we have a different UI on top of GitHub. You always have the ability to go into your favorite editor as well. But if you want to keep a high overview and you want to have a UI, then I think Conductor is definitely a nice place to start. It's also a free download if you have a Mac, but as always, no app is perfect. At the time of making this video, one thing that will be nice, and I think if they want to become a company, they should probably do this, is it will be nice if you could do this in a sandbox environment where this terminal right here is not something that represents my machine. It's just running somewhere in the cloud, such that if it goes full YOLO mode and breaks everything, it's going to do that in the cloud and on my machine. Another thing that will be nice is that right now you can get Sonnet from Claude and Codex, and that's fine, but having more options here would definitely be cool. Like Gemini just came out, so that would be nice. But open source models, maybe Open Router, things like that would also go a long way here. And currently, that's not a feature you can use. There are also some automations that might be easier in the terminal. In the end, this is still a UI, so you're going to click around a lot, which isn't always ideal. But still, as a friendly introduction to do things kind of in parallel, I do think more people should know about this.